Afternoon, peeps. Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're all doing very, very well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget as well to like and share the vids. All right, we haven't done a video in a couple of days. I've not been feeling 100%, so we've missed out on a couple of big stories, but no doubt we will cover them now. Before we start, I just want to say a massive thank you to Connor Ben for passing by the studio on Thursday. Really enjoyed the conversation with him. I know a lot of you said that the sound is a bit low. Apologies for that, peeps. Trust me, no one is more upset about that than me. Me and my editor clearly just fucked up. We fucked up somewhere, and I don't know how we did, but yeah. A lot of you have said, Ade, increase the volume. I can't. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. The only way I can do it is by removing the video and then putting up another one. And yeah, we're not going to do that. So yeah, apologies, but hopefully you enjoyed the conversation. We have another special guest coming next week. Again, I just want to get guest after guest. And just have fun talking to them. All right, where should we start? Look, in fact, there's only one place to start, and that's with the purse bids. I mean, all of you guys were eagerly awaiting, including myself, what was going to happen, the amount, who was going to jump in. And yeah, I don't think anyone expected the winning bid to be $41 million. I didn't, nowhere near that, actually. I expected around late 20s. I didn't expect 41 million, which is the highest purse bid ever. Think about that. It's been a lot of big purse bids. That's the highest ever. Obviously, the winning purse bid was made by Frank Warren. Eddie Hearn put a bid in, I think, of 32 or 31 million. No bid from Triller. I think a lot of people thought that Triller might jump in and do something crazy. They didn't. So yeah, Frank Warren wins with 41 million, which is big for Frank Warren, obviously. Massive for BT Sports. It will be on a BT Sport pay-per-view platform. But good for both fighters. Both fighters make a lot of money. Now, the way in which it works with the WBC, I've seen a lot of people say, okay, if it's going to be an 80-20 split, they kind of said, okay, Fury will get X amount and Dillian Whyte will get X amount. I can't do the calculations in my head right now. But the way it works with the WBC is that they hold back 10%. So that'd be $4.1 million, and the winner gets that amount. So it could change. So Dillian Whyte could get what he, I think, initially wanted, which is above $10 million. He could get that if he wins. Fury, regardless, will make a shitload of money, regardless, win or lose. And I think a lot of people expect him to win. He's going to make a lot of money. Fury's money increase in the last few years has been incredible. Like, he has made a lot of money, not just from, you know, the fights with Wilder, but obviously made some decent money from the fights with Otto Wallin because of the contract with Top Rank and Tom Schwartz. Made money in that WWE stint that he did. Book sales, like, he's doing very, very well. And he's obviously going to do very, very well out of this fight as well. I think, money aside, I think this is just really good for British boxing. I mean, I've been going back and forth with a few people on my lives telling me that Tyson Fury will fight in America next. I'm like, no chance. Absolutely no chance. He's going to fight in the UK, and he will now. He will fight in the UK. It's a massive homecoming. There's a lot of talks that it will be at the Principality Stadium, I think that's in Cardiff, 70,000. Yeah, I mean, look, I said Old Trafford. It could happen anywhere. It's a stadium fight regardless. It's a stadium fight. Those two will sell it very, very well. The sale's already begun, and it will sell out. There's no two ways about it. It will sell out. Whether it's at Old Trafford, 80,000, 90,000, whatever, it will sell out. The Principality, 70,000, it will sell out. Now, even if it does sell out, and even if it does do incredible numbers, I do wonder if, because of the massive purse bid, if it's going to make any money. I mean, look, the fighters will get paid regardless, and congratulations. I'm always happy to see the fighters get paid. I mean, like Dillian Whyte, I know he wanted big money, but I mean, this will be Dillian Whyte's highest purse by far. Like, you could combine maybe his last 5 or 6 purses. This is how big the money is going to be for him. So well done, Dillian Whyte. But I was just thinking about it, like, they'd have to do something along the lines of 900 to 1 million pay-per-view buys. Like, I think BT Sports will chuck this on at £30. I think this will be a £30 pay-per-view. Like, it could be more, but I think it'll be around £30. So obviously 1 million pay-per-view buys is £30 million. Obviously, bear in mind this thing was dollars, but let's just play it with pounds for a while. That's £30 million. If they do 70,000 average ticket price, remember average, I'm saying here, £80, that's what 5.5 million or something like that. Man, they're going to have to do record numbers. Obviously, you've got the rights to sell it abroad and they'll make their money back that way as well. But I don't know, man. I don't see how this fight... But look, the fight ain't doing 1 million pay-per-view buys. I'll tell you that now. As much as I'd love it to, because it shows the growth for British boxing, it ain't going to do that. So it feels like it will make a loss. But we shouldn't care about that, and I don't really care about that. I thought I'd just mention it. I just care the fact that we're going to see Tyson Fury in a British ring against Dillian Whyte, and I think it's going to be spectacular. I think the whole event's going to be really good. I really hope they do it justice. I'm sure they will. But I think it's got all the ingredients to be something really, really special. I think the build-up's going to be fascinating, and hopefully we do get a top table when there is a press conference. I really hope it's Dillian Whyte and he's got Eddie Hearn alongside him. And that's what I'm praying. And then obviously on the other side, you've got Frank and Tyson. I'm sorry, that is... You could sell pay-per-view tickets for that. Just the press conference alone, I think is going to be electric. And I think that leads up into what will be a fascinating fight. I do. Do I think Tyson Fury wins? Yeah, of course. I mean, he's the lineal fucking champion. He's the #1 heavyweight on the planet. He should beat Dillian Whyte, but Dillian Whyte will come to fight. That's what Dillian Whyte is going to come, and he's going to leave everything in the ring. I think we all know that. But I think the build-up is going to be really good. Again, I think 41 million is crazy. I think it's crazy, but look, I'm all for the fighters getting paid. There must be some UFC guys that see that, especially look, Francis Ngannou's obviously going through his own stuff with the UFC right now, and he's openly talked about him getting paid 500,000, 600,000. He must see that and have kittens. Like, he must honestly see, like, Tyson Fury getting paid anywhere between $28 and $32 million. Even Dillian Whyte getting paid between $7 and $10 million, and think, how am I getting paid 600,000? Like, how? Like, what? But look, hey, that's for him to sort out. And I think it's fair to say the UFC have stuck to that kind of pay structure for a long time. Unless your name's Conor McGregor or Khabib Nurmagomedov, I don't think they're going to move from it. Hence why John Jones is going through the same issue with them as well. But look, I think it's fantastic for British boxing. The fight will be over here. I think they're talking about a date in April, so we don't have to wait too long. Really, really good news for everyone concerned. And then hopefully what it does do is it then gives us the Alexander Usyk-AJ fight maybe a month, 2 months after in the UK again. I mean, we've spoken about the fight potentially happening at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So we're going to have two massive, massive heavyweight title fights, both on these shores. And I think that's really big for British boxing. It really is. I mean, I say both on these shores. I kind of stutter to say that just because there has been some talk recently about AJ Usyk in the Middle East again. And look, I mean, I just want to see it, but hopefully that doesn't happen. AJ Usyk was such a spectacle at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which, by the way, is not a fan-friendly stadium, by the way, in terms of the commuting after. It's really bad. But in terms of how it looks, incredible. So, yeah, look, great news for fight fans. Again, crazy purse bids, crazy. Even Eddie's purse bid of, 32 million was massive. And I think they obviously calculated that there's still a profit to be made with a 32 million purse bid. I mean, Frank Warren's just blown him out of the water with 41, but maybe he's just overreaching on the numbers that they think they can do. Again, I feel like Fury versus Dillian Whyte over here is 500,000 to 600,000 pay-per-view buys. I mean, the kind of calculations they've done, I think they're thinking it's going to do between 9 and 1 million. We shall see. Eddie announced a couple of days ago, and this has almost got lost in all this purse bid stuff. Obviously, it's Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, April 30th, Madison Square Garden, the big room. I think it's important to say that. This is the big room. There's a big difference in terms of the big room and the small room. The big room is where Miguel Cotto always used to fight. But the big room is basically saying that you can pull in anything between 15 and 20,000 fans. And they're saying that it can, and I think it will as well. I really do. I think it's a massive fight for female boxing. It's a massive fight for boxing. I mean, they're putting it on the same day Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson's on, and I think it removes eyes from that fight. And that's a massive fight. It's a unification fight. But I think everyone's been waiting for this one. You've got two promoters that know how to promote and really pushed the envelope a bit. And Jake Paul, which is still strange to say, but Jake Paul and Eddie Hearn, I mean, Jake Paul will promote this like nothing ever. And I think Eddie will go big on this as well. This is the fight he's been waiting for Katie Taylor. Look, she's had some big fights. The Pursoon fight became a big fight. No one expected it to be first time round. Tasha Jonas was a big one as well. But this is the one. McCaskill. She has some big ones, but this is the one. Amanda Serrano, what is she, 7-8 weight world champion against Katie Taylor, especially when people, including myself, have maybe suggested that Katie Taylor's on the slide. It's a big, big fight. I really can't wait for it. And hopefully, hopefully I'm over there. Like, why would DAZN not want me over there? Come on, surely DAZN, get me over there, man. It'll be nice to go over there and watch that one. So yeah, look, those are the two big boxing stories in the last 48 hours. And look, massive stories they are. Let's see if there's any other news. You see, AJ basically said something along the lines on his Snapchat that although him and Dillian Whyte aren't friends or whatever, I don't know, something along those lines, he's happy for him to get this opportunity. And look, this is a massive opportunity for Dillian Whyte, man. You're fighting the #1 heavyweight on the planet, WBC title on the line, and you're going to get paid some serious money as well. This is what you're in the sport for, right? Title opportunities, stadium fight. This is not an arena. Stadium fight, title opportunities. Tyson Fury has almost become a bit of his nemesis. And some real good cha-ching as well. Some real good cha-ching. So good luck to Dillian Whyte. Good luck to Tyson Fury. Should be an absolutely fantastic fight. Eubank Jr., Anthony Joshua still has the hunger. That means a lot. Yeah, let's see, man. A lot of people were talking about AJ stepping aside. AJ was like, not doing that. Not doing it. And look, I gave my reasons as to why he should step aside, but I also gave one as to why he shouldn't. And I said the fighter in him should not step aside. Because stepping aside almost tells the world and tells everyone, including yourself, that you're not ready for Usyk. You're not ready. And look, maybe he isn't. But, you know, sometimes you've just got to gamble on yourself. And I think he's doing that now. But look, we're still waiting for a trainer announcement. I wonder if there'll even be a trainer announcement. I wonder if it's just, like, we're waiting. Maybe there is a trainer already been, like, working with AJ, and it's just no need to announce it. Does that make any sense? I can sometimes think that's the case. But look, I think AJ's got the hunger in him. I just think he's coming up against a formidable opponent. Formidable. It's weird, doing all this nonsense with the heavyweights. Obviously, Tyson Fury was making these videos and didn't stop talking. Dillian Whyte made a couple of videos. AJ obviously made that video saying, don't listen to anyone apart from me. It's all bullshit. Who kept quiet? Alexander Usyk. Man doesn't talk. Man just deals with business. Does not talk. Makabu versus, I'm going to pronounce this guy's names wrong. And I've seen this guy fight, by the way, South African. Muchunu. I probably pronounced that wrong. Tonight, let's see what happens. Obviously, we still don't quite know what's going on with Canelo. It looked like it was going to be Canelo Makabu, right, in May. Let's see. Maybe Makabu does come through this, which I hope he does, because I really want him to get the Canelo shot. We'll just have to see if Canelo is ringside. Does he get in the ring? Is it officially announced? Very strange as to what's going on with Canelo. Remember that guy from ESPN, whose name skips me now, saying, oh, Canelo's next fight will upset sort of hardcore boxing fans. Like, what's going on? The Jamal Charlo, the Makabu, no one knows what's happening. Strange. Very strange. Anything else? Have we got anything else? Let's have a quick look. A bit more here about the purse bid. This is good. Eddie Hearn saying that, and I spoke to Liam Smith about this. He said that they're looking at April now for Jesse Vargas versus Liam Smith. Yeah, I spoke to Liam Smith and he was like, he needs to know a date so he can just literally stop training. Because what you don't want to do is leave it all in the gym. So I guess now he's got a month, at least he can kind of taper down now and then go again big for, I don't know, probably end of Feb. Now he's got an April date. Mikey Garcia here on Spence Ugas. That's a dangerous fight for Spence coming off eye surgery. Let me tell you something. I know a lot of people that think Ugas beats Spence. Man, jeez. It's weird because I still have so much hope for Crawford versus Spence. I hope that isn't the case. But if that is the case, if Ugas does beat Spence, then I guess we should also be very excited about Ugas versus Crawford, no? I mean, that then will be number 1 versus number 2. It doesn't have the same sell to it. It doesn't have the same ring to it. But yeah, I do wonder what's happening with Terence Crawford. It's a shame, man, what's going on with him. Big shame. But we'll see. We'll see if he gets a big fight anytime soon. I don't know what the big fight can be. I mean, he might be waiting to see what happens with Keith Thurman against Barrios. Obviously, look, if Barrios wins, it's not going to be Crawford versus Barrios. But if Thurman wins, then I think you can sell the Thurman versus Crawford fight. Again, let's not, as much as I dig on Thurman, he's only lost once, and that was to Manny Pacquiao. It was 2 years ago. He got some very good wins. I just want to see what kind of Thurman is left. We'll see. A bit here on Virgil Ortiz versus Michael Mickinson. When I spoke to Conor Benn, I asked him, didn't I, like, what chances do you give Michael Mickinson in that fight? And he was like, it's difficult to kind of almost know because, and he was right. He says the wins that we've seen for Mickinson, have been against Chris Congo recently and Ranowski. I mean, so how do you then say, okay, go from those wins to a Virgil Ortiz? Very difficult. So he pretty much didn't give him any chance, if I'm honest with you. And that's kind of where I sit as well. It's not because I don't rate Mickinson, because I think he's tricky, he's awkward. I think maybe it's because I'm very high on Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is a strong welterweight. Only fights one way, and that's forward. And I don't think Mickinson can keep him off. I mean, you've got to have something in these to keep a fighter like that off. We'll see. I mean, look, unless he's a very good boxing talent and we've not seen it yet, because you think of someone like a Paulie Malignaggi, who didn't really have the punch. And he was able to compete and stay in there against guys that were a lot stronger, you know. So look, Mickinson could be something like that. He could be. He could be something like that. So look, let's see. I hope that even if he does lose, and it's still an if, we don't know, but if he does lose, I just hope that he performs well enough so he doesn't just disappear off the face of the earth. Do you know what I mean? Like, you get that when a guy goes in there as an underdog, gets smashed, and then you don't hear from them again. I hope he goes in there, puts up a good performance, and at least is in a conversation for some more big fights down the line. That's what I hope. Yeah, we'll see. All right, this was interesting. Natasha Jonas versus Eva Pietkowska. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Natasha Jonas, I think, moving up 3 weight classes for this one. Boy, I mean, good luck to it. It's a world title fight. It's a WBO title. So, look, I'm always happy for Tasha, but, I mean, there are so many good fights in and around her weight class. Good fights, really good fights. So, this one's a bit strange, but, look, Tasha's, 38, 39, I think. And if you can get a world title at this late stage in your career, and that's what she's been wanting, right? A world title opportunity. Very unlucky against Terry Harper, good performance against Katie Taylor. So maybe she's looked at other options and they're not world title fights and thought, you know, no, I want a world title. I want to, when it's all said and done and I retire in a year and a half's time, I want to say I was a world champion. So maybe that's why she's going for it. But there's a big weight difference there. Big weight difference. All right, guys, we are done. Oh, this is interesting. Clarissa Shields says that Serrano versus Taylor is bigger than her versus Savannah Marshall. Yeah, it is. It just is, unfortunately. Not unfortunately. It just is. Those two girls have done too much work, Serrano and Katie Taylor, as pros for it not to be. Now, Shields has done a lot of work as a pro. Savannah, we're still waiting for her to do more. And Savannah's a world champion, so you've got to give her credit, but Serrano versus Taylor is a lot bigger. It really is. Again, I don't think it's the biggest female fight of all time, Serrano versus Taylor, especially from a it's a bigger fight in terms of skills, but in terms of a commercial, Jackie Fraser versus Layla Ali, if you speak to anyone that was around watching that fight or just the talk of it, and it was massive. It really was. But this is a huge fight as well. And I can't wait for it. Madison Square Garden's going to be bouncing. Peace and love, peeps.